Hey, I'm back after a long hiatus, and figured today talk about DC Universe. Now, I'm a little bit late to the game talking about DC Universe. That's for a couple of reasons. I'll get into those. So, for those unaware, which I don't know how many that would be, knowing my demographics, shouldn't be too many of you, but maybe a couple. So for those of you unaware, DC, the comics company owned by Warner Brothers, they came up with a streaming slash multimedia app, subscription service where they've got some exclusive content. Right now, I mentioned before liking Titans. Titans is one of the original series they have on there. They've also got Swamp Thing, which I guess hasn't been renewed for a second season, but that's its own thing. But Swamp Thing series. They've got a new season of Young Justice, which is a popular DC cartoon that a lot of people were sad to see canceled years ago. Rumors of doing more with the old Teen Titans series from 2003. Those are just rumors right now. They've got a Harley Quinn series in production that'll be coming out soon. We've got a lot of exclusive content. So the reason it took me so long to get around to DC Universe is really just because I wasn't able to try it out. And that is because at the time, the only device I had for any kind of streaming was an Xbox. And in my opinion, they really blew it early on by not having console capability with DC Universe. I know with a lot of other apps, if it wasn't available on the Xbox, then it would be available through Amazon Prime and doing Prime Video. But, in that case, you're paying for two streaming services to watch one. So yeah, at the time, Xbox was my only way to watch something for streaming. I managed to get my hands on a Roku since then. It's a neat little device. Everyone's familiar with what a Roku is. Basically, it's just a thing that plugs into the back of your TV, turns it into like a smart TV, right? Also, in addition to getting the Roku, which has the DC streaming capability, looks like my mount for my phone is now noticeably broken. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'll continue talking, but how interesting and exciting for you. This is what we get making these videos live with no editing, flying by the seat of our pants here. So anyway, it just took a while for DC Universe to be available on a platform where I could really use it. The other thing that was holding me back was I wanted to make sure that they had enough content before I committed to it, and that is happening now. So I got my DC Universe subscription a month or two ago. I don't even remember. It was for the Batman 80th anniversary. That month, you could get a month of DC Universe for 80 cents, which was just too good of a deal to pass up. So I got it. I've been using it fairly regularly, and I'll go over like why, if you're into DC Comics really at all, I think it's a good app for you. So a few things. Number one, the original series. They've been excellent. I was a big fan of Titans. A lot of people did not think Titans was going to work out well. I was a little hesitant. A real sticking point a lot of people had was with the design for Starfire. Now, there were some idiot, slack-jawed racists who didn't want to see a black Starfire. And then there were some people whose issue wasn't so much that she was black, it's just that the character is supposed to be orange. I didn't really care about any of that. My main question was what they were going to do with the character of Starfire, because I had heard that, she doesn't know that she is an alien princess with magic powers for part of the series, right? So I was a little worried at how they were going to handle that, throwing an amnesia storyline onto the already really rich Trigon storyline, but they did it really well. It works great. Nana Diop is excellent. I could watch her eat a bowl of cereal, and I'd still pay the DC Universe subscription fee to do that. Yeah, she's excellent. It works great. And there were a lot of like really dumb idiot children too who were complaining about her costume and how, like, as it was described, looks like a hooker, except that like that's like literally what Starfire wears. I haven't kept up with the Teen Titans really since New 52. I read a couple of Gail Simone's the collected books from her run on there, but I'm not like deep into the Teen Titans since the 80s. But I mean, Starfire wore a bikini, like more revealing than a usual bikini, a bikini that wouldn't have made it on network TV at the time if it was live action. She was dressed like Vampirella if it was purple, and there's no like the costume in Titans. It's not skimpy or trashier in any way. So I don't get what these people are saying. I'm only able to assume that they are familiar with the 2003 animated Cartoon Network Teen Titans, and that's what they're basing their criticism on, because the costume is pure fucking coriander. The hair is coriander. A lot of people said it looks like a bad wig. She's got pink curls. It looks like hair, like pink curly hair. It doesn't look like a bad wig unless you're a moron, or you don't know what that looks like. You've never seen pink hair. I don't know. These people, they don't seem like the sharpest tools in the shed. So anyway, Titans is excellent. Doom Patrol. Fucking Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol is another original series, right? Titans acted as a semi-backdoor pilot, except that all the characters have different actors. So, not really, but introducing the team. Doom Patrol is one of the more obscure DC teams. If you don't read comics, you pretty much have no idea who they are. I think they were mentioned in like 2 episodes of the 2003 Teen Titans by Beast Boy. And really that's it. They don't get a lot of mention. But Doom Patrol is a classic team with a decent fan base. And so far the series is excellent. I'm not going to give away any spoilers. The only thing that was kind of weird for me, and I know Brendan Fraser, I like him as an actor and everything. He's a little fat to be a NASCAR driver, and that might sound cruel and like I'm body shaming him or something. That's not my intention. I just know, and I'm not an expert on NASCAR by any means, but from what I've been told by people who do know the sport, is because I remember Tony Stewart, I think was his name. He was a driver. He did some advertisements, and he was a little bit on the chubbier side. And I remember a bunch of NASCAR people on the internet being like, he's gonna not be able to fit in his car. They got so much safety equipment. And I don't know. It's a rude thing that I'm a little ashamed of that popped into my head, because I do love Brendan Fraser. He's great. But that was like the first thing that popped into my head was like, man, he doesn't look like he's got a a good NASCAR body, but you know, they need him for the Robot Man because he's fucking excellent at that. Then we've got Young Justice Season 3, which we're about halfway through right now. And that's just fucking great. I was already a big Young Justice fan. They've taken it in some really cool directions. Once again, this is like all spoiler free, so it's really hard to get into just why I love it so much. But I'm just going to say I've always been a big Vandal Savage fan. And I never really thought he was getting his due outside of Justice League Unlimited, and that was only like 2 episodes. But the Vandal Savage is fucking great, and his backstory, everything, it's all fucking like perfect. So great Vandal Savage stuff, interesting Justice League stuff, interesting passing the torch stuff. I won't get into details. Watch it yourself. You'll see what I mean. The real thing about DC Universe as an app, though, in addition to all of the programming, you can watch 70s Wonder Woman, all of the DC animated shows from the 90s. It's all there, and that's all great. But the real value is in the comics, because comics are fucking expensive. I love comics. I love reading comics, but I'm poor. Like, just fucking poor, right? And so I haven't been able to indulge in my comic book hobby in more than a decade, because it's like $4 a fucking book now, right? So unless somebody is getting me a gift certificate to the comic shop, I just can't read comics until, they come to the library, which takes a long time. That's why I'm just getting to some of the New 52 stuff. I'm only really caught up on Batman, and that's because the library has an actual subscription to that one, so I can read those at the library. Everything else I've got to wait for it to come to trade, and then wait for it to arrive at the library. But with DC Universe, they've got 20,000 comics, and it's $8 a month. So it's the price of 2 comic books, but you got 20,000 books to read, and they've got the app working so that I can read them on my TV, and not in a like really awkward squinty way like I've had to do sometimes. There'll be like comic panels in the special features of a DVD or a video game, and you pull it up on the screen and it shows you the whole page, and then you got to get right up on the TV screen to read what they're actually saying. They've got the app set up so that you can go panel by panel in the order they're supposed to be read, and read the comic in order from the seat of my couch. And if I have my tablet, I can read comics on there like an e-reader. 20,000 comics in your comic library, and they're adding more all the time. That's just an unbeatable price. So if you're into reading comics, all of the streaming stuff is great. Don't worry about that. But I know there are some people with a streaming service, the same as they did with CBS All Access and Star Trek. They'll wait till everything is completed, then they'll get just either a free trial or get just a single month, and then binge everything and then cancel their service. It's fine if you want to do that to watch the streaming stuff. The streaming content is superb, though. Everything they've put out on it has been great. But the real value to me is the comics. I love reading comics. I have discovered some new things going on in comics that I've been unaware of, because like I said, I'm only really caught up on Batman. Mira has had her own limited run going since January. There have been recently, because of all the memes that I'm involved in and the DC core pages, I've been reading a lot of 80s Green Lantern and Justice League International and that stuff. They've got all that. So the bang for your buck is really in the comic books, and I highly recommend it. If you have the opportunity, if you have a device that will work with the DC Universe app, go for it. Highly recommend it. If you're into reading DC Comics at all, it is definitely worth your money and time. And that's coming from somebody who did not think it would be. I honestly thought it was going to be a wasted effort. So go get you some DC Universe, and I will see you guys in a day or two. Take it easy. Bye.